A woman was asked, why do you always walk your paycheck to the bank? And she says, it's too little to go by itself. This is happiness, cat. This is happiness lady, David Letterman said. They call you the happiness lady? And a man said, if I ever have to have a heart transplant, I want the heart of my boss. It's never been used. You and I have a pact. We have a meeting of the minds. We have a contract that we will do whatever we can to make each other happy. Did you see the snow? Oh, well, let me show you the snow. This is the snow that started Saturday in New Jersey and went all the way up to the state of Maine. Quite a lot, huh? Not so bad here. But in West Hartford, Connecticut, my friend Jennifer runs a public access TV station there. And they've lost power. But she got the TV station up and running. And the funny part is at home, she has no power. She gets the TV station up and running, but 90% of West Hartford has no power, and nobody can see it anyway. Good old Jennifer. Jennifer Evans. What a great public access spirit she is. Public access TV. We are using as a guide Men Who Have Walked with God, written by Sheldon Cheney, published in 1945 by Alfred Knopf. And this chapter is on Brother Lawrence. And he was a monk in Paris in the 1600s. He died about 1688. And he seemed to like the role of being a servant. He was a footman for somebody in Paris, for Monsieur Flaubert. And he seemed to like being a servant of God. Because he certainly gave himself to it. It was a wonderful thing to see. Are you and I giving ourselves to happiness? Are we? Are we getting victory? And in spite of that, he was filled with goodness.
Goodness of heart. I love it.
Goodness of heart.
Despite his goodness, Brother Lawrence was intensely human.
In spite of his goodness of heart, he was intensely human. Would you say that's true of us? Are we filled with goodness of heart? He was open and frank.
Immediately, but confidence in him.
So that one immediately had confidence in him.
Lover of God.
Is a lover of God. To us, page what? Oh, 292.
Well, he said his task as servitor, whether
He was a lover of God. And how do we look at God? We look at God as happiness.
primary duties of serving
God is so big and so vast and so complex. Our itty-bitty minds cannot intercept it. But we can understand happiness, and we just go every moment. Happiness.
entry into the Carmelite monastery
It was
1666.
1666 he entered the Carmelite monastery.
55 years old.
And he was 55 years old. How old are you?
There is the open question whether his life had been
I'm 83. You're what? I'm 83. 83 and no doctors.
before the incident of the lethal treatment. So after all, there is only faded light upon his way of living.
His way of living, folks, was to live continually in the presence of God. Our way of living is to live continuously in the presence of happiness. I had to make out this form to send this great body to a medical college after, as Sheldon Cheney says, after Glendora slips away from her body. It's going to Albany Medical College, and they put out a form, and the form had to be signed by 2 people who declared that Glendora was of sound mind. And I told him I had a hard time finding 2 people who would do that.
Often spoke of his sins, quote unquote, in that early period, but it is not unusual for saints to magnify the transgression
He was a saint,
of their
and he thought about his sins in earlier life. But we got rid of all that.
and holiness of their existence after illumination.
Purity and holiness of their existence. Where do we stand on purity and holiness?
Purity and holiness, have we had our illumination?
Have we had our illumination on purity and holiness?
To boost it.
We have to boost it. Yeah, we have to charge it. And how do you do that? Every hour you count 15 blessings. Every quarter hour you rejoice about something. I rejoice now about you. I rejoice now about that magnificent blue sky and the snow below it and the evergreens around it. The age was one of violence and easy morals.
Almost fanatic rectitude on the other.
And almost fanatic rectitude on the other.
So far as anyone knows, may have only sinned, or he may have known only those commoner pleasures of the senses, the pursuit of which the average person spends his life.
I gotta send this to you. He may not have known any great sins. What he called sins may have been.
But of strict, almost fanatic rectitude on the other. Brother Lord, so far as anyone knows, may have only sinned, or he may have known only those commoner pleasures of the senses.
He may have known only those commoner pleasures of the senses. The pursuit of which the average person spends his life. Smoking, drinking, running around. A man called me from Binghamton. He was born again Christian. And he talked, and he talked, and he talked. And he talked about his relationship with God. And he talked, and he talked, and he talked. And he nonstop. And my feeling about it, folks, was this. That there was too much self. A real Christian, and Christ said so. To gain, you lose yourself. And there's just too much self there. Not enough God. Not enough other people. Just self. When I was born again. All right, it's funny.
God help us. Mentally and spiritually, he experienced a long period of doubt and tribulation.
Mentally and spiritually, he experienced a long period of doubt.
Trial, and despite his dedication of his life to God,
That's his period of doubt, 40 years. 40.
To make the love of God the end of all his actions, unquote.
To make the love of God the end of all of his actions.
The end of all his actions.
Make happiness the end of all our actions.
God, the end of all his actions.
He had trouble in schooling his mind to reject desires. He was plagued by fear for his soul's salvation. That's too much self. He got over that. And once he got over that, he was great. I have entered the spiritual life purely for the love of God. And to act only in accordance with his will. That's it. No matter what will become of me, whether I'm damned or not. Or saved. I will continue always in the path of God's love. You and I, let's paraphrase it as we often do. We will continually stay in the path of happiness, no matter what. Even when we're dying, we will stay continually in the path of happiness. We will continually stay in that moment. Not out here in the past, not out here in the future. We will stay in this moment. It's someday for a crown. Good boy.
We'll continue in the path of God's love and will.
We will continue in the path of God's love and will.
To my credit, that until death I had put my every effort into loving and serving Him.
Woo! Until death, I will put my every effort into loving and serving God. And how do we look at God? God's so big, you can't grasp it. But we understand God as happiness.
The torture of mine persisted for 4 years, and my suffering was acute.
Too much self.
I saw that it all came about through lack of faith. Serving that,
Through lack of right thought is what it is. Again, you count 15 blessings every hour. You rejoice every quarter hour about something. There's no room for anything else. You're showered, folks, with so many blessings that there isn't time to think about evil.
I was free and entered into a life of continuous joy. Continual joy.
He finally freed himself from the bad thought and entered into a life of continuous joy. And that's what this happiness chat is all about. The woman who stole $2,500 from me, at least I got a roof over her head. Her 19-year-old son, 12 cats, 7 guinea pigs, and 2 dogs. At least I got a roof over her head. The last I've seen of her is October 6th, and this is All Hallowed Eve, October 31st. And I've never heard from her. By phone, by appearance, by letter. No way. know, didn't I do the right thing? I kept her from being homeless. $2,500 is a big debt. I don't like to go to small claims. She gets a judgment against her. It'll work against her all her life. We send pulses of happiness and joy and peace and understanding and illumination and elucidation and enlightenment to that woman. That she will find the great happiness, the great joy, the great attainment, the great achievement, the great peace. We just send pulses out to her. Yeah, that's better than thinking about the $2,500 debt.
See that, folks?
What? See what, folks?
About happiness.
Oh, okay.
Our life of continued happiness.
Our life of continued happiness.
See how it envelops other people?
See how it envelops other people?
You're on the right path.
Puts them on the right path
To happiness.
to happiness.
I have a song about
I have a song about
that.
that,
I can find it.
if I can find it. I'll sing it for you. With God we go to find the joy of life. We win each day the happiness of love. We count our blessings, we give thanks, we give joy. Stop, stop the cruel. Stop, stop, stop the cruel. Can't find it. With God we go to spread the joy of life. We win each day the happiness of love. We count our blessings. We give thanks, we give joy. Stop the cruel. Wait a second. We win each day the happiness of joy. We count our blessings, we give thanks, we give joy. Stop, stop the cruel. Stop, stop the cruel. I couldn't find it because a cat was sitting on it. .com cat. This is Brother Lawrence. So why did I put it on microscript instead of a book? I thought it'd be more fun for you to listen to it that way. The other monks begin to resent him, but we're not going to read that. We're on page 296. That's good. He habitually, to perfect himself, that would bring his mind about to God in any circumstance or any difficulty. You get into a circumstance, you get into a difficulty. Does your mind come to God when that happens? That's it. We have to do that, right? How are you coming on it? How are you coming on it?
There's a footnote here.
Footnote.
This may be
This may be
an error. I'm not going to read that.
an error. Don't read it. Don't bother with it. Doesn't make any difference. He was.
We are now reading page 292. Even as it took him additional years to perfect himself.
Habitually to perfect himself. habitually bring his mind about to God
or crisis.
in any uncertainty or crisis. That's what we need, isn't it? Can you help me do that?
Bring our minds about to God in any uncertainty or crisis. Quote,
Bring our minds about to God.
myself wholly to God. I renounce for love of him everything that was not he.
I renounce everything for love of God that is not God.
I began to live as if there were no one save God and me in the world. As often as I could, I placed myself as a worshiper before him, fixing my mind upon his holy presence, recalling
Fixing my mind upon God's holy presence. Let's go back again, folks, and press the button that says stay in the present. Stay in the present moment. Don't say, what do I have to do next? You stay in the present where you are and do that the best you can. And you don't wander off into the future. I was trying to teach the boys and girls that at Sunday school. Don't wander off into the future. And they read it, don't wander off into the furniture. I don't wonder with my writing. Oh, I've got to improve my writing. There's another thing. You stay in the moment and you write nicely.
when I found it wandering from him. Thus,
When I bowed at wonderment.
this proved to be an exercise.
Exercise.
Frequently painful, yet I persisted through all difficulty.
Sometimes painful, but I persisted through all difficulty.
He had been very simple of his own faults, but he had refused to be too discouraged about them.
He acknowledges faults, but he refused to be discouraged by them. Sure, because you know that what will take care of it is the happiness in the moment.
He confessed them freely to God. Quote,
He confessed his sins freely to God. Are you thinking about that? I think I know what you're thinking about that. He confessed his sins freely to God.
did not plead with him for forgiving them. After confessing, quote, he went back into his accustomed love.
And after confessing his sins, he went back to his accustomed love of God
Adoration.
and adoration.
He came to the conclusion that, quote, it is idle thoughts that spoil all.
Woohoo! It is idle thought that spoils all. Oh, doesn't it? That's why when we stay with happiness in the moment, that whole moment, idle thought doesn't get in there. And spoils all does not get in there.
The mischief begins there, unquote. The truth.
The mischief begins there. Idle thought spoils all. That's why counting blessings is so good. That's why rejoicing every quarter hour is so good. I rejoice for you, you great sun. All you hydrogen atoms making helium and giving off this heat and light. We couldn't be here without it. I rejoice for you, sun.
What have we said over and over again?
What is a star? A star is a ball of gas. A star is a ball of gas held together by its own gravity. And what is that gas? It's hydrogen, out of which all of the elements are made, I believe. I believe all of the elements are nothing but combinations of hydrogen.
Count your pure thoughts. Keep your thoughts pure.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
We said over and over again. Count your blessings. Count your pure thoughts. Keep your thoughts pure. What do you think about? Happiness only. Happiness in God and goodness. And bliss. No evil.
Bliss and no evil.
In summary of the struggle of that period,
He had,
one of his
he had a second
appearances
illumination.
in The Brotherhood. For the first 10 years, my suffering continued. The feeling that my devotion was not so intense as I wished it to be.
For
The
10 years.
recollection of my past sinfulness and the great difference between my
Recollection
worthiness
of
and the
past
beauty of God
sinfulness.
poured upon me. Actually, he's thinking too much about himself.
I think he's thinking too much about
And
himself. Yeah.
maybe I was just making people happy and doing things for people.
All you should be thinking about is making people happy and being happy.
Often I fell and promptly rose again.
Often I fell and promptly rose again.
And myself to the thought that I should end my days in this struggle, though it did not diminish my trouble.
Yeah. I fell down on this knee, and I got up and walked, and that took about 3 weeks to get rid of the soreness. And then 2 days later, I fell down on this knee, and that took... It's pretty good though now. That was only a week ago.
On my face, I was changed suddenly.
I was changed
My
suddenly.
soul, escaping tiresome discussions, attained
My soul. Tireless discussions.
a profound inward peace.
Attained my soul after tiring discussions. Obtained peace. Oh, we gotta go.
My soul, escaping tiresome discussions, attained a profound inward peace.
A profound
Had come
inward peace.
to its own home and place of rest.
Oh, wait. We gotta get this in.
As if it had come to its own home and place of rest.
As if it had come to its own home and place of rest. After tiring discussions, my soul finally attained an inward peace, as if it had come to its own home and place of rest. We'll do that together, huh? Please help me do that. Well, this is great. Are you happy? Hi there. The famous author was asked, "What do you consider your greatest work of fiction?" And he said, "My income tax form." Brother Lawrence, thank you so much for helping us so much. You, Brother Lawrence.